Gout Gout, 18 years old, born to parents who fled a war, raised 40 kilometers from Brisbane. He just ran the fastest junior 100 meters in Australian history, and the greatest sprinter who ever lived has a message for him. Before you understand what happened in Brisbane on April 18th, you need to understand the kid who made it happen. Gout Gout was born on December 29, 2007, in Ipswich, Queensland. His parents, Bona and Monica, fled South Sudan during the Civil War. They escaped to Egypt, then made it to Australia in 2005, 2 years before Gout was born. He is one of 7 children. His full name, pronounced to rhyme with pout, was misspelled during his family's transliteration from Arabic. The world knows him as Gout Gout. His coach at Ipswich Grammar School, Diane Shepherd, spotted him at 12 years old and immediately understood what she was looking at. She later described him to Australian athletics this way: "The most important thing she teaches young athletes is humility, and Gout has it in enormous supply. She has been with him from school carnivals to world championships every step of the way, breaking records. At 16, he matched the open record that had stood for 56 years, Peter Norman's Australian 200-meter mark, set at the 1968 Mexico City Olympics. Athletes do not tie open 56-year records at 16, but Gout Gout did. In August 2024, he flew to Lima, Peru for the World Under-20 Championships and won silver in the 200 meters in 20.60 seconds. He was 16 years old. 2 months later, Adidas signed him to his first professional contract before he had finished high school. No one expected him to be ready. He was. Most sports stories build slowly. Gout Gouts do not. In September 2025, he showed up at the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. He was 17. He competed in the 200-meter heats and reached the semifinals, finishing 4th in 20.36 seconds, one position away from a global final. That was the moment Noah Lyles, Olympic 100-meter champion, 8-time world champion, looked at a reporter and said the teenager was more talented than he himself had been at the same age. Not, "Watch this kid someday." More talented, right now. The barrier-breaking run. Then came April 12, 2026. Sydney Olympic Park Athletic Centre, the warm-up track built for the 2000 Olympics. Gout Gout stepped into the men's 200-meter final at the Australian Athletics Championships. Before the race, he had written one number in his notes: 19.75 seconds. He repeated it to himself all week. He crossed the line in 19.67 seconds. He became the first Australian man in history to break the 20-second barrier in the 200 meters. He shattered the ratified World Under-20 record of 19.69 seconds set by American Arion Knighton in 2022. And he ran faster than Usain Bolt ever had as a teenager. Bolt's best before turning 20 was 19.93 seconds, set in 2004. Gout is now ahead of the greatest sprinter in human history at the exact same point in their careers. After crossing the line, Gout said, "I wrote down 19.75. And for the past week, in my head, I've been telling myself I'm running 19.75 and obviously 19.67. You've got to love it." That 19.67 would have earned bronze at the Paris 2024 Olympics. On the day he ran it, he was faster than the man who gave him career advice. 1 week after Sydney, Gout Gout traveled to Brisbane for the Australian Junior Athletics Championships at his home track in Queensland, QSAC. He entered as the fastest qualifier for the 100 meters with a time of 10.0 seconds, the same mark he had run at the Dane Bird Smith Shield 2 months earlier on a Saturday morning with no cameras and no fanfare. On April 17th, the heats. He ran 10.19 seconds, qualifying fastest, deliberately saving himself. He told the Brisbane Times that day, "I definitely have more in the tank. Last week was a great run, and I'm hoping to keep the same energy in Brisbane. Hopefully, the wind stays pretty calm and anything's possible. It was a good run, definitely saved myself for finals. I can't wait for tomorrow." On April 18th, the final. He did not waste time. He drove hard out of the blocks, stayed low through the acceleration phase, and opened up completely down the straight. He won. Dominant. Clean. The massive crowd inside QSAC Stadium, his home crowd, his home state, erupted. After the race, Gout acknowledged the doubters who had questioned whether his world record time in Sydney was achieved under questionable wind conditions. He said there are always going to be critics, and if you have critics, it means you are doing something right. It motivates him to go bigger in larger races. Local media reported that Gout has his eye on Patrick Johnson's Australian Open record in the 100 meters, 9.93 seconds, set in Japan in 2003. He is currently 0.07 seconds away from a mark that has stood for over 2 decades. Usain Bolt, 8 Olympic gold medals, retired in 2017. The fastest human being in recorded history, with a world record of 9.58 seconds in the 100 meters and 19.19 seconds in the 200 meters. When CNN asked Bolt about Gout Gout this week, he did not say much. But what he said was precise. He said he hopes the teenager finds the right people to have around him. Because at that age, and Bolt knows, because he was there, you start getting pulled in every direction, and you can forget why you got there in the first place. He said if you lose track of the sport, everything else goes away with it. Bolt recalled his own experience of going from the junior circuit to the senior Diamond League. He said when he first got on the circuit as a young prodigy, he felt like he was on top of the world because he was winning everything. Then he arrived on the senior circuit and did not win a single race. He called it an eye-opener. He said he hoped the experience would not get Gout down, but instead motivate him to work harder. He added that in the first year, you learn a lot about what you need to do to be better. This was not a retired icon dismissing a young athlete. Bolt has previously said, Gout looks like young me. He is watching this kid with the same attention that the entire athletics world is now watching him. The path forward. Gout Gout is not going to the Commonwealth Games this summer. He announced that he is skipping Glasgow to focus entirely on the World Athletics Under-20 Championships in Eugene, Oregon from August 5th to 9th. That is a deliberate choice, and it is not a new one. Usain Bolt made the same choice in 2002. He skipped competing elsewhere to win the 200-meter gold at the World Junior Championships in Kingston, Jamaica. He was 15. That title was the launchpad for everything that followed the world records, the 8 Olympic golds, 15 years of dominance. Gout is following that blueprint step by step. Before Eugene, there is Oslo. On June 10th, Gout Gout will make his senior Diamond League debut athletics premier global circuit in a 200-meter showdown against Letsile Tebogo, the reigning Olympic 200-meter champion. Tebogo has already gone under 19.50 seconds. That gap between 19.67 and the world's current ceiling is real. No honest account of Gout's story pretends otherwise. He knows it too. After Tokyo, as a 17-year-old who had just fallen one spot short of a world championship final, he said the one thing he has that his rivals do not is time. He said if he could do what he was doing at 17, he would be even better at 25. The ultimate destination. And beyond all of it, 6 years away, Brisbane hosts the 2032 Olympics, the city just minutes from his school in Ipswich, the home crowd he has been building toward his entire life. He will be 24 years old, the absolute prime of a sprinter's career,